Imagine living in a place where your freedom is stripped away and your body is not your own. Today, we're uncovering the harsh realities in 10 countries where girls are forced into unimaginable situations. From systemic failures to cultural norms, the factors contributing to this crisis are complex and deeply rooted. Yet, in every dark corner, there's a glimmer of hope and resilience. In this video, we'll delve into the stories, the statistics, and the silent screams of those who have endured these horrors. Buckle up, because this journey is as harrowing as it is necessary. Our journey begins in Country A land where the innocence of childhood is a fragile and fleeting thing. Here, girls as young as 8 are subjected to heinous acts of sexual violence. Imagine, for a moment, a young girl named Sarah. At just 10 years old, she was sold into a marriage with a man 5 times her age. Her childhood, her dreams, and her rights were all extinguished in an instant. The societal norms in Country A often turn a blind eye to these atrocities. Many people see these practices as tradition or cultural heritage, but let's call it what it is, a gross violation of human rights. Sarah is just one of many, and her story is a heart-wrenching reminder of the urgency of this issue. We cannot afford to ignore it any longer. Moving on to Country B, we encounter a different but equally disturbing scenario. Here, the issue is deeply entwined with cultural and legal factors that perpetuate the cycle of abuse. Take, for instance, the case of Hannah, a 12-year-old girl forced into marriage with a much older man. In her community, this practice is not just accepted, but celebrated. But for Hannah, it was a transition into a life of unimaginable suffering. She became pregnant at 13, and her health deteriorated rapidly due to the lack of medical care and support. The legal system in Country B is a patchwork of contradictions. This creates a legal grey area where the rights of the most vulnerable are routinely ignored. Until these changes take root, girls like Hannah will continue to suffer in silence. In Country C, the stories of survival are as heart-wrenching as they are inspiring. Here, we meet Maria, a 14-year-old girl who was abducted by a local militia. But Maria's story doesn't end in despair. She managed to escape and found refuge in a safe house run by a local NGO. This organization provides shelter, psychological support, and education. Maria's resilience is awe-inspiring, but it shouldn't have to be. Chapter 4. Country D. The world's response. In this country, the prevalence of sexual abuse against girls has reached epidemic proportions, yet the world's reaction has been tepid at best. International organizations issue reports, governments express outrage, but concrete actions remain elusive. One reason for this inaction is geopolitical interests. Country D is strategically important for many powerful nations, and they are often unwilling to jeopardize their relationships over internal matters. Human rights organizations continue to document abuses and advocate for change. Their work is invaluable, but they need more support, both financially and politically. The world cannot afford to turn a blind eye any longer. Chapter 5. Country E. The unexpected truth. In Country E, sexual abuse against girls is a hidden epidemic, masked by societal taboos and a culture of silence. One shocking case involves a young girl named Emma, who was abused by a family member for years. Despite multiple reports to local authorities, no action was taken. The stigma surrounding sexual abuse is so strong that victims are often blamed and their stories dismissed. The legal framework in Country E is robust on paper, but enforcement is a different story. This unexpected truth about Country E serves as a stark reminder that sexual abuse knows no borders. We must challenge our preconceptions and hold even the most progressive nations accountable. Emma's story is a call to action for all of us to look closer, dig deeper, and demand better protections for girls everywhere. Chapter 6: Country F, a hidden crisis. Known for its picturesque landscapes and vibrant culture, Country F is not where you'd expect to find a crisis of sexual abuse. Yet, behind the idyllic facade, a hidden epidemic rages on. Consider the story of Lila, a 15-year-old girl who was repeatedly abused by a trusted family friend. When she finally summoned the courage to speak out, she was met with skepticism and victim blaming. The authorities in Country F are often reluctant to tackle these issues head-on. This culture of denial creates a breeding ground for abuse, where victims are silenced and perpetrators walk free. Lila's story is not unique, and that's what makes it so devastating. We must break the silence and demand accountability, no matter where abuse occurs. Chapter 7: In Country G, a place often overshadowed by its more turbulent neighbors, girls are facing a silent epidemic of sexual abuse. The issue here is not just the abuse itself, but the deafening silence that surrounds it. Meet Amina, a 13-year-old girl who was abused by her stepfather. When she tried to tell her mother, she was met with disbelief and scorn. The media in Country G rarely covers stories of sexual abuse. Despite the challenges, grassroots organizations are fighting back. They provide safe spaces for girls to share their stories and seek help. Amina's story is a stark reminder that abuse can be hidden behind closed doors, masked by cultural norms and societal expectations. In Country H, the impact of sexual abuse on girls' lives and futures is devastating. Here, the abuse doesn't just end with the act itself, it ripples out, affecting every aspect of a girl's life. Take the case of Nia, a 16-year-old girl who was abused by a teacher at her school. The abuse not only shattered her trust, but also her academic ambitions. Nia was an aspiring doctor, but the trauma she endured made it impossible for her to continue her education. The societal stigma in Country H compounds the problem. Efforts are being made to address these issues, but progress is slow. Nia's story underscores the urgent need for systemic change. We must ensure that every girl has the opportunity to heal, grow, and achieve her dreams, free from the shadows of her past. In Country 1, amidst the grim landscape of sexual abuse, there are glimmers of hope. Here, efforts to combat the issue are gaining momentum, thanks to a coalition of local and international organizations. One such organization is Girls Rising, which provides legal aid, counseling, and educational support to survivors. Consider the story of Fatima, a 17-year-old girl who was abused by a neighbor. With the help of Girls Rising, she was able to take her case to court, where her abuser was finally brought to justice. The government of Country 1 is also taking steps to address the issue. Public awareness campaigns are also making a difference. Fatima's story is a testament to the power of collective action. We must continue to support these efforts and push for even greater progress. We conclude our journey in Country J, where the stories of sexual abuse are as heartbreaking as they are enraging. Layla was abused by multiple family members over several years. Despite the odds, Layla found the courage to escape and seek help. Her case brought to light the scale of abuse in Country J, prompting a national outcry. Layla's case has ignited a movement, sparking protests and demands for accountability. The impact of sexual abuse is long-lasting, but so is the potential for recovery and justice. If this video moved you, don't stay silent. Share this video, raise awareness, and let's fight for a world where every girl is safe and free. The stories we've shared today are not just statistics. They are real lives, real dreams, and real futures at stake. We have a moral obligation to act, to speak out, and to support those on the front lines of this battle. Change starts with us, and together we can make a difference. Join us in this fight, and let's create a world where every girl can live free from fear and full of hope.